Here we are with Workbench chat or tour number 4. This is the Cherry Roubo, sometimes called the Return of Roubo or the Slab Roubo, whatever you want to call it. Built it about, I think, 2010, 2011. It was on the cover of Popular Woodworking. Lots of changes to this, lots of dumb parts to it, lots of things that really work. So let's take a look. Let's start with the dumb stuff. This shelf, which I don't even think opens now. It might open, I don't know. But this door, we had to add at the insistence of the photographer or the art director or somebody, because this bench looked too much like another workbench. So they wanted an eye catcher or something different. But we never use it. I don't even know what's inside, maybe a human head. Also not great is the depth of this bench top. It's only 18.5 inches deep. It's just a little too narrow for me, and the bench gets a little tippy when you're traversing, and that's why we have it butted up against this other workbench. You can get by it with 18.5, but I really would go for 20, 22. 22 to 24 is probably my favorite width. When I got this cherry slab, it had been sitting outside for a season or two. And so it was punky and there were cracks and all this. And so I had the great idea to fill those with some reconstructive epoxy that is used in architectural millwork and stuff for repairing rot. And yeah, it did the job, but really maybe this piece of cherry shouldn't have been a bench top. At one point, as you can see, a big part of this bench top split off, and that's when Roy Underhill was at Woodworking in America, and he struck a holdfast in one of these front dog holes. A couple giant 6-inch lag screws took care of it. The epoxy, I'm just not a huge fan of the way it looks or the way it behaves. I mean, it works, but as the top shrank, the epoxy kind of bulged out, and I'd have to plane it down every so often, but it's fine now. This is the Miller's Falls planing stop, a commercial stop. You use a screwdriver to raise it up and down or rotate it to one of the different positions. It works pretty well. I prefer a regular traditional metal planing stop that you beat up and down, and that's because when you get debris in this thing, it tends to get stuck, and so you have to just clear it out with a screwdriver and then pry it up and clear it out some more. Cool gizmo, easy to install, but not the best. I love this early quick release vise made in Louisville. I used to be able to buy these for about $50. What I like about them, I mean, first off, it's just the way it looks and works is super cool, but it uses a rack instead of a screw. Does it work as well as a screw-driven vise? No, of course not. But you do get used to it and it doesn't get in your way. So when you're securing work, you have to get up close to it, and then the rack engages when you move the lever, and it pulls forward about 1/8 of an inch. So it doesn't have this enormous, tenacious grip like a screw-driven vise, but boy, it is a really nice piece of equipment. Of course, the crisscross is absolutely awesome. And I would have it on every workbench if I could. We have it on 3 now, and I hope to put it on the rest of them. Just makes this thing effortless, as Jamil and FJ would have me say. I think I get $1 every time I say that. Not really. If you don't know how these things work, they keep the jaw parallel to the vise, and then as soon as the jaw encounters the work, these two X-shaped pieces of metal resist against one another and act like a parallel guide without a pin. Really super ingenious stuff. At the back of the bench, we have a rack that we use for all our little clamps when we do chair making and need to hold little stuff. I love this rack. I probably should put this on several more benches because it's really handy to have around, and no, it doesn't get in the way of working. But it's nice to have, all these clamps handy, and also to have these screwdrivers handy, which help make adjustments like for the little planing stop here. All in all, it's still a nice little bench. It's only about 6 feet long and about 33 inches high. You know, it's great for most furniture making tasks. It's not super for sticking moldings or for building large pieces of casework, but you know, you work with what you have, and the slab was only so big, and so this is how big the bench was. Still love the bench, even though it sounds like I was running it down through this video, and look forward to working on it whenever I can.